treat you, the media, to call them out, to call the NDC out, to call Mr. Speaker out. Because what is it? What at all is the issue? You have made a ruling which you now say is an opinion. We disagreed with you. We've gone to another forum where, by law, that forum has the power to interpret the law. We respected Mr. Speaker's ruling. In all of these, my first interview after his ruling was with the fact that I respect him, I disagree with him, therefore my colleagues and I were withdrawing from the chamber and will pursue the matter at the Supreme Court, which matter he was already aware was pending at the Supreme Court. And I will repeat the point I made a week ago. Mr. Speaker had assured me in the presence of the second deputy speaker, Honorable Amwakwesiama, in his office, that in view of the pendency of the suit, although the NDC had filed that petition, which petition was mounted by Harun Idrisu, he would hear them, but will wait and abide the decision of the court. I was fair enough, I was transparent enough to have engaged him as a head of this assembly, that because Haruna had raised the issue and to avoid confusion, I was going to the Supreme Court to seek interpretation. I did not go to Supreme Court in bad faith, and it wasn't the case that a matter was happening in Parliament and I ran away to the Supreme Court. I ran away from Parliament to Supreme Court to seek refuge. No, I foresaw confusion. And indeed, what Harun Idrisu filed, why did they set it aside? Harun Idrisu had initiated a process under Order 99 of our rules, which will require a process to be set in motion. Why did they suddenly come under Order 93, which allows for a statement? When in the history of this Parliament, since 1992, did a statement metamorphose into a motion, which motion now will require a ruling? You see, Speaker is setting the country on fire. Yesterday, we were disappointed with his non-reconciliatory posture during this press conference. Indeed, we, the majority caucus, call on Mr. Speaker one more time to demonstrate statesmanship. We want Mr. Speaker to know that although we were not happy on the day he was elected, some of our colleagues perhaps has seen something good in him. It wasn't the NDC that put him there for him to do the bidding of the NDC. Perhaps people felt that he could be someone who will bring all of us together. Yes. There are things that we cannot say into the camera. But Mr. Speaker is hurting democracy. Yes. What Mr. Speaker is doing is to rehearse what the NDC is likely to do should they lose power, to bring chaos, to cause confusion. How can Mr. Speaker say that he respects the Constitution, but he will not subject himself to the dictate of the judiciary? How can you say that the judiciary is in collusion, is colliding with the president, and you mention the president as a person, as an individual? How? What Mr. Speaker is doing is in bad faith. First of all, he subjected himself to the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. And after losing at the Supreme Court, he turns around to attack the Supreme Court. His own lawyer, my respected senior Thaddeus Sori, in court, argued forcefully that Mr. Speaker made a ruling, and he sought to justify the so-called ruling and even challenge the jurisdiction of the court in entertaining my application. For him, the matter comes under Article 99 of the Constitution and not under Article 197. 97 G and H of the Constitution. To the NDC lawyer, to the Speaker's lawyer, who had received firm instructions from the Speaker. The position of the Speaker was home and dry, was on all fours right, and that Mr. Speaker had ruled, and that those members could not come to Parliament. Again, he had emphasized that the right forum was the High Court. Yes. All these points canvassed by Mr. Speaker's lawyer were overruled. The matter was heard in the full glare of the public. There was a live broadcast of the Supreme Court proceedings of that day. The ruling of the Supreme Court has been procured by me as plaintiff. The Supreme Court bailiff has served the ruling, the second ruling, on Mr. Speaker. His lawyers were given up to 3rd of November to file their written submissions, statements of case in defense, if any. So what are all these, perhaps I call it ex cathedra statement of Speaker, creating an impression as though those statements he's making are an authority on their own. It cannot be. A true Democrat will respect the rule of law. Yes. And that is why we decided to respect him. You know, ladies and gentlemen of the press, NPP, our tradition is to respect rule of law. Yes. It's out of deference to Mr. Speaker. That is why we did not enter the chamber. That we should share in that chaos theater with them. Never. We won't do that. We will not. NPP will not. We will not. Therefore, don't be swayed by their lies and their propaganda. The chaos they started is what they want to end. We will not allow that. We believe that we have to win the elections right at the polling station, and would go and work. Right now, what the NDC has done, basically, are the following. One, they don't want Ghanaians to receive their pay, public servants, because they know that after the elections, there will be no budget. And to be able to pay Ghanaian workers, there will be the need for parliamentary approval of the budget first quarter. That would be on account, appropriation on account. That's it's a constitutional requirement. So that is what they want. They want to stampede it. 2, they want to again create a certain impression that Ghana is lawless. Ghana is not lawless. We will not allow them to give a wrong impression to the international community. We will respect the law. 3, all these businessmen, you know, their fear is that under the 1D, 1F, these companies are going to create jobs. These companies will employ people. So their fear is that should these be addressed, it will mean that all their propaganda of unemployment would fall flat. So further to frustrate businessmen and drive them away. Are these Democrats? No. Now there are important things to do. We have the free SHS bill, which is before Parliament. Their main aim is to conspire with Mr. Speaker to prevent the free SHS bill from being passed. And in an unlikely situation where they see the light of day in the election, cancel it. That, oh, after all, there's no law backing it. Their main target is the free SHS bill. That is why there was a pre-announcement of its laying in Parliament, and you remember how they fought against it. So it's an opportunity for them to, as it were, prevent the free SHS bill from being passed. And if they succeed in doing that, to them, in their wishful minds, in their wishful thinking, parents will get upset and then say that after all the free SHS was not working. The free SHS has benefited many Ghanaians in spite of the challenges. We know as a country the reforms that have been made by 2 ministers, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh and Dr. Yao Educhum. These 2 gentlemen who were assigned to superintend over the education ministry have done so well, and the outcome of their works is known to all Ghanaians. This is what the NDC want to set back. Thank you very much indeed. I would want. Now they also made some noise in the chamber. They also made, they double talk. They double talk. They do double speaking, double talking. Whenever a person lies, he fails to even be inconsistent. In the chamber, where they rushed to go and sit, and again, the clerk this morning, we pre-inspected the chamber. The clerk diligently arranged our name tags at where they were. They came and they physically removed them. And this is where, with the greatest respect and in all humility and no modesty, my dear friends in the media, help us to shape opinion in the right way.
Get the message across properly.
Get the message across. They came in there and unlawfully removed our name tags, pulled their chairs to our place and sat on our seats. And Speaker, the cameras I was watching in my office, and I'm sure you guys are set up. You set your cameras up proud to Mr. Speaker's arrival. You saw what happened. Let the Ghanaian people know. Now they said our members were not present. They claim that those, if indeed the Supreme Court had ruled, why were those members who were affected not in the chamber? Because Mr. Speaker has said nothing about them. This is what Kwame Agboja, making that point. Honorable Kwame Agboja said the members have had a favorable ruling from the Supreme Court, so they should have come. Really, if the Supreme Court ruling is being respected by them, why did they move to the right of Mr. Speaker? My respected colleague Cynthia Morrison is here. I said it in my plaint in court that she remains a member of our caucus, and she's here with us as a majority caucus. Nothing short of that. So I would want you to take note. Now, we look forward to engaging Mr. Speaker in the next few hours and days. We pray that he does the needful. If he doesn't do the needful, we will continue to rely on the law to get the right things done. The partisan politics that they are festing on us in the chamber must cease, must end. Parliament is a chamber for decent people. Parliament is a chamber for tolerant Democrats. Parliament is a chamber for people who want nation building without taking advantage of situations to score cheap political points. We will yield to these high values and high tenets of democracy. Thank you very much.
No question. Okay, we'll allow some few questions. Okay.
Majority leader.
Yes.
Majority leader, 2 things. First,
who is going to do the tree for her?
There are those who have said that by the conduct of Mr. Speaker, he has gone against the ruling of the Supreme Court, and by his refusal or failure to actually ask the NDC MPs to go back to their minority side, he might be in contempt. Is that the view you share?
Yes.
And then lastly, there are those who said that if he's in contempt, that would mean that he has breached his oath of office, and you may even initiate process to impeach him.
Well, let's engage him.
He's right on both.
Let's engage him. Get him to appreciate. Let's get him to appreciate the consequences of not obeying the Supreme Court's decision, and let us also pray that civil society and Ghanaians in general will prevail upon the NDC lawless minority to know that decency is the rule of the game. Thank you very much.
What capacity is Madam Sita Morrison here?
She's a member of parliament. Listen. Wait. You see, wait. I will not in any way attack any media house, but I believe that the discourse is a two-way traffic. For instance, I won't mention that station's name, but a station invited me, and when I went for a program, after we had agreed on the issues, they now said to me that a big man from that station says that they should address me as leader of NPP caucus. And I asked that a speaker of parliament has made a pronouncement. Granted, at the first instance he was right. A superior court has overruled him. So the status quo has been restored. Further, the speaker has challenged the first decision of the court. All right? And that has been adjudicated upon. And it has been determined. So 2 rulings have come out after his ruling, which he calls an opinion. Is there an issue of who is in majority and minority? You, the media, I want to ask you. So I would plead with you, no matter how you feel, let us all help with the law. We all know in the US, in the US, I'm referring the media to something that happened in the US. We all know that CNN leans towards the Democrats. If you watch CNN carefully, you will know that CNN leans towards the Democrats and Fox leans towards the Republican. But as soon as Trump was elected, CNN put all their biases aside and went straight. In fact, they were among the first news, let me finish, to have projected Trump's victory in spite of all their disagreement with Trump's views or political views. You get my point? And I would want to urge on you, the media, to do same. You may not be in support of NPP. I agree. Yenina ya dream to me ya baako. Yenina media yen to me ka say media bi antro dia eye NPP for there. But the court kasa. Me be situation a media betro say Afenyo Markin, leader of NPP group. Afenyo Markin ni NPP for a majority. Exactly. And that is the law. Exactly. Mumbua, speaker of Fuma Monka, yes, we are Fuma Monka. Na Ghana Baku Penewo, their NDC for any and 1 person Ghana Ejetom from Roman countries or from understand the Subai. Their speaker D can hear, you know. Speaker. Their speaker didn't can hear you know. Yeah, I'm going to call. Oka di oka you know. Yendi didn't attempt. You catch and say, speaker, what the waka? Yeah, the court. Na court a be assembly. Court a di can be assembly. Speaker see on tia of a lawyer. I'm a lawyer no call court. Eko kasama on no speaker said there be the Supreme Court ka no. Wafo a Supreme Court afom. Supreme Court e di assembly. Ghana nyina hwe TV. And Supreme Court, aka said there be speaker. And ya wu to me na obetumi aka say obi seat we declare vacant. Yen into asem no eda yenim. Asem no so beda ha na we aware. Into ba no say and I say we be kasasa. Speaker lawyer na aka say speaker ye ruling. Okoso justify speaker asem o kan. E ma ne ka say Supreme Court ko na ye wo no. And ya won the right forum. Say ye kwa high court. Sansema ni lawyer kan ni na court then eboguye Inti dia na ye expect an opay ni say speaker any NDC for no beka saka chom say there be baby amote na ye ho na mote e ho no ye edom kase NPP for
yeah for your mark omo anu
sa for your mark ye omo majority leader omo ekonwa but speaker wan ye sa obetra ho no oye se we hu baby ankrofo ne te ba ni nyina ne se oni omo nyina no omo ya baako omo nyina NDC ansa na NDC for be bibi no no ankasa oni no oni omo nyina adwe ho nti omo nim de omo ye wo be hwe endra press conference oye no press conference oye no wan kasa se ope enkabom ana akroye o attack o mampeni o attack judiciary Supreme Court ekeka nsem bebria yen esanse ye bu no binti no yamba respondo say yete de oka yetie but yen MPP for embra na ye disuniti yamba kase ntia no na ye expect say nde or the court assembly ye djuma and then put there obi ono an lawyer akọ court no wan ka court ho asem kra wan kase wa go court ama we din kuguo aninti no and then you anu nyina wa ha they are be say ka ne say ye be di mbra so ye ntumrika eni ne omo nkoko ntokwa NDC for there omo bibia ye ntokwa omo bibia ye ntokwa omo bibia ne ntokwa so omo di enyoma be sai wo Ghana na Ghana aye basabasa ye de ya dwen o man no ya ma bibi sense ya da mo ase
Charlie, your answer. Wait.
Member of Parliament, are you still contesting as an independent?
Hey, I hear that question.
Of course, I'm still a member of Parliament, the ticket of MPP. Thank you.
I know what your question is. What answer?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. The content, no. No, the content will come and the impeachment will come after the content. Who impeach him? That one.
Yes.
Welcome back. So you have just watched the press briefing by the NPP following the second time adjournment of Parliament. Among many of the things that Honorable Afenyomakin has been saying is that the Speaker has been acting in bad faith, especially between yesterday and today after he addressed the media, accusing the President and the judiciary of colluding to, in a way, not encourage government business. Now, some of the things that he's been outlining is the fact that the NDC, earlier this morning, we're going back to Parliament, but before that, NDC, when they went to Parliament, the clerk had arranged their name tags, but forcefully took off the tags and then took their position, as he's been alleging. But let's go back to Parliament and we'll bring you a wrap of that.
He's not a member of Parliament. He presides over Parliament. We, the members of Parliament, determine the business of Parliament. So we'll recall Parliament again. I'm saying that we'll recall Parliament. We'll recall Parliament. We'll recall Parliament.
This Parliament expires on the 6th of January 2025. So we have time.
The press conference has just ended. Honorable KTM, briefly on Joy News. Honorable, small one. You have been trying to get your leader to say something about maybe contempt or impeachment.
Yes.
The leader has shied away from saying that.
He hasn't shied away. He made a pronouncement on it. We would cite him for contempt. Listen, I don't know how else he would understand this. He has to. It's about time he understood that he also operates under the purview of the Constitution. And the rules are clear. At his level, you respect the ruling of the Supreme Court or you risk contempt proceedings. We're going to do it.
The Speaker of Parliament
will be cited for contempt. I mean, you think the framers of the Constitution were joking? Yeah, the framers of the Constitution, they weren't joking. They know what.
Right. Thank you. So, they're live.
Party, we are the new, democratic party. save Ghana. Elephant, we are born to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. The elephant, we shall win to save Ghana.
So you.
I'm cited for contempt and impeached. We're starting today.
Right, so you've just heard from the NPP group in Parliament who have been addressing a news conference taking on Alban Bagbin for his conduct regarding the way he has made business go on in Parliament. They say that they're going to force the Speaker's hand to recall Parliament again. We have no idea when exactly that is going to be, but they are really furious. The leader himself fell short of going by the chance from his members to declare that they will cite the Speaker for contempt and perhaps even make a motion to impeach him. He really pivoted away from that. But Katie Hammond, even Habib Idris, the Deputy Majority Whip, all of them.
My colleague Kasatintin bringing us an update there, but here's a wrap of what Afenyomarking has been saying in Parliament today, that some of the things that the NDC is conspiring against will be that public servants may not receive their salaries should Parliament not sit. Another thing that he mentioned as well is that the 1D, 1F businesses which would allow employers employ more employees as well, they would want to prevent that one as well. Another thing they say that the NDC is interested in is the policy of the free SHS, which they think is a game changer for the NPP. Among other things that they've been accusing the NDC plus the Speaker as well, and you have just heard them say that they will still force his hand to recall Parliament. But let's still go back to Parliament.
Yeah. Friends of the media, good afternoon. I think my leader has spoken and I don't need to. Mine is not a press conference. What I want to tell the media, the message you have to carry is in the interest of our country, Ghana. I believe in Ghana. With what is going on in Parliament, it's not good for the country. I have advised my colleagues from the other side that, look, assuming you win the incoming election, would you get 2/3 of Parliament to take decisions? And they all said no. So I said, well, if you are saying that Professor Michael Quinn set a precedence and you are using that to take a position as you have done, then what happens if you win election and you don't get 2/3? Do you expect NPP also to help for us to rule this country? That is my fear for Ghana. Whatever is going on, if we don't put an end to it and we politicize issues, Ghana, I'm telling you, in 2025, you will see worse things in Parliament. Because whoever wins and whoever loses will not cooperate. Then what will be the fate of our country? That is my major concern. Of late, I have not been speaking, but it's absurd to see grown-ups, members of Parliament, behaving the way we are behaving. It's simple. For peace sake, how many weeks left for the country to go through all what is going through. Don't think it's only NPP. It's Ghana going through these challenges. The way things are going, I believe that next month is going to be Christmas, and workers are not even going to have their salary because Parliament we have to approve. So media, I decided not to talk, but what I saw at the conference center when I was coming, I've been treating you, I'm pleading with you to be very objective. You see, taking entrenched position to support a political party will not help this country. And if you know the power of the media, if you do your work well, the respect you earn, I'm begging you, you are jeopardizing your positions in society because of the way some of you politicize issues, and it won't help this country. We all want to move forward. I personally don't care whoever wins, so long as we have a peaceful country that you can breathe. I've been to war-torn countries, and I know the sufferings some people are going through. That is why I don't preach for war. If not, I would have also encouraged whatever going on. I want to be the fate of the country. Today I shouted at my young man because he asked me a question, why are you running away? How can I run away? Let me tell you what actually happened this morning, which the leader did not address. You saw me in going to I even entered the chamber. We were at a caucus meeting. So we took a decision that, look, Ken, go with the leadership, engage the speaker and the NDC people, then we go in. Because we heard they are sitting on our side, which is the right-hand side of the speaker. So go and engage the speaker. Unfortunately, when we got there,
well, we'll bring you updates from Parliament, but right now we'll go for a quick break. We'll be back shortly.